$130 billion. This is the initial estimate of California's losses caused by the wildfires, which have devastated homes, infrastructure, and livelihoods across the state. Thousands of residents have been evacuated from their homes, with sirens echoing across the United States. The ultimate catastrophe is the staggering $130 billion in economic losses, making it the most costly disaster in human history. In this video, we will reveal the true causes behind these wildfires, who should be held accountable, could the Biden administration be leveraging this disaster to corner Trump before his term begins, and how could the indirect losses from these fires surpass even this massive figure of $130 billion.
My name is Basem Fawzy and this is World Economy. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest content.
On January 9th, California, particularly the Los Angeles area, experienced devastating wildfires. Unfortunately, the authorities were initially unable to contain the situation, allowing the fires to spread into residential areas, completely destroying them. Before I dive into the full picture and the extent of the losses California has suffered, let me explain something very important. Wildfires are typically caused by extreme weather conditions and climate change. Factors such as soaring temperatures, severe drought, and dry vegetation make forests highly susceptible to catching fire. However, what intensifies these wildfires the most is wind. Wind plays a critical role in amplifying the fire's heat, sometimes driving it to unprecedented levels. This enables the flames to spread not just quickly, but at an alarming speed, which is exactly what happened in California. The issue lies in California's location on the western coast of the United States, where geological, geographical, and climatic diversity make it particularly vulnerable to natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods, droughts, and wildfires. The truth is, California is no stranger to such scenes. This is not the first natural disaster to strike the region, but it is by far the largest, not just in California or the United States, but in the history of wildfires globally. However, the real catastrophe here is not only the impact of climate change, rising temperatures, or strong winds. These factors did not just ignite the fires, but also contributed to their rapid and extensive spread. Human negligence plays a significant role. Some reports reveal that utility companies, like those managing electricity, gas, and water, failed to take adequate precautions to prevent their equipment from causing fires. Simply put, these companies manage critical infrastructure, power plants, gas pipelines, and more that, if not properly maintained, can lead to disasters. For example, damaged or uninsulated electrical wires can produce a small spark capable of igniting a massive blaze. If power lines are not securely installed, strong winds can bring them down, sparking devastating fires. The same applies to power stations or gas pipelines, especially gas pipelines, which are highly volatile. Ultimately, all these scenarios can result in unpredictable and catastrophic fires. In many cases, these companies can be the direct cause of wildfires. It often starts with something as small as a spark from a damaged electrical wire. Take the 2018 wildfires in Northern California as an example. Those fires claimed the lives of 85 people and destroyed over 18,000 buildings. Do you know what caused them? Faulty electrical wires belonging to the utility company PG&E. This negligence resulted in losses amounting to $16.5 billion, a staggering figure at that time. Another issue that hindered firefighters' ability to control the flames was the lack of water in some fire hydrants in certain areas. This has led to the current disaster, which stands as the largest wildfire California has ever witnessed, particularly in Los Angeles County. The fires have destroyed approximately 27,000 acres and over 5,000 buildings so far. Entire neighborhoods have been consumed by flames, forcing 153,000 people to evacuate their homes. Some found refuge in hotels or with friends and family, while others were left homeless. Moreover, 250,000 homes in the surrounding area are currently without electricity. Schools and roads have been closed, and the region can now be described as completely isolated. Over 2,000 firefighters were deployed to contain the situation, along with 780 inmates who were temporarily released from prison to assist in battling the fires. This highlights the scale and severity of the catastrophe that has befallen California. Interestingly, After President Joe Biden declared California a disaster area, he praised the efforts of Governor Gavin Newsom and Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass in handling the crisis. In contrast, President-elect Donald Trump took a different stance. Biden blamed local utility companies for the power outages that led to water shortages, while Trump criticized Gavin Newsom, holding him accountable for poor water resource management and forest policies, which he claimed exacerbated the fires. Trump went further to criticize the Democrats, accusing them of prioritizing the protection of smeltfish over ensuring sufficient water resources to combat recurrent wildfires. At the same time, Elon Musk voiced his dissatisfaction with the situation. He criticized California's woke policies, which he argued overly focused on diversity and equality at the expense of critical issues like forest management and infrastructure. From his perspective, this neglect has contributed to the increase in wildfires and the lack of preparedness to address them effectively. These remarks have ignited a heated political debate, with Republicans and Democrats trading blame over who is responsible for the escalating crisis. It is clear that key officials are directly implicated in this disaster. With only days left before Donald Trump officially takes office, the question remains: what will he do to address the issue? The economic losses alone, as estimated by AccuWeather, range $130 billion, making this the most costly disaster in history, as previously mentioned. This will undoubtedly have a significant impact on the economy, with California's GDP expected to decline by approximately 4%. Currently, the devastation extends beyond just burned homes. The state's infrastructure has been severely damaged, including roads, power lines, and water networks. California now requires massive investments to rebuild and restore Los Angeles. Moreover, since the fires originated in forested areas, all agricultural crops in the affected regions have been destroyed. This translates to losses for farmers, investors, and the state as a whole. In 2024, agriculture revenue in California was projected to reach $59 billion. However, due to the wildfires, this figure has dropped by $25 billion compared to 2023, a significant blow to the sector's earnings this year. Sadly, the fires have also left behind 5 fatalities and dozens of injuries, placing immense pressure on the healthcare and emergency response systems. Even the tourism sector will suffer as a result of this disaster. Visitors are likely to avoid the affected areas, leading to significant losses in tourism revenue. The United States spent 4 years recovering from the tourism losses caused by the 2020 pandemic. By 2024, it had regained its position as the top global destination in terms of revenue and visitor numbers. Last year alone, tourism revenue reached approximately $204 billion, and projections for 2025 anticipated this figure would climb to $223 billion. As California is the most popular state among tourists, it's unlikely that this number will be reached. However, the disaster's impact doesn't stop there. These wildfires, along with previous ones in the region, have led to increasing demands for financial compensation from insurance companies covering properties such as cars and homes. Given the recurrent nature of such catastrophes, one of 2 outcomes is likely. Either property insurance costs will rise significantly, or insurers will stop providing coverage in high-risk areas altogether. For instance, last year, State Farm General Insurance, California's largest property insurer, canceled 69% of its policies in the state. Following Joe Biden's declaration of a state of emergency, federal support is now set to step in. Relief efforts will include providing temporary housing for affected residents, rebuilding homes, offering low-interest loans to help cover uninsured damages, delivering essential medical care to those injured, and creating teams to assess damage and prioritize the most severely affected areas for resource allocation. This presents a significant challenge for Trump to address. The United States will need years to rebuild and recover from the devastation. However, the real challenge lies in preparing for the future, as the region remains vulnerable to various natural disasters which could slow down the reconstruction process. What do you think bears the most responsibility for the wildfire crisis? Nature, utility companies, or policymakers? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have made it this far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to get notifications of our future videos.